acid rain. Our atmosphere contains oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide and many other gases. Let us talk about carbon dioxide here. When the rain water combines with carbon dioxide, it converts into carbonic acid. Therefore, when the rainwater falls on the ground, it is slightly acidic in nature. But that acid is very mild acid. It will not harm so much the living organisms which are there on the earth. But due to a burning of wood, excess use of coal and petroleum, emission of carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide and also nitrogen oxides will increase in the atmosphere. And it is not only the carbon dioxide which combines with the water when it rains. Sulfur dioxide also combines with water. Nitrogen oxides also will combine with water. H2O stands for water. And when the water mixes with these gases, along with carbonic acids which we have already seen, nitric acid and sulfuric acid is also formed and fall on the earth in the form of rain. And that is what is called acid rain. And this acid rain is not like acid rain where only carbonic acid falls on the ground. Carbonic acid is very mild acid, whereas nitric acid and sulfuric acid are 1,000 times stronger, and they have their own effect on living organisms, on marine life. What can we do then? If this continues, what is going to happen to the earth? The earth is warming up at a steady pace. The reasons for this is the increase in human-caused greenhouse gases. Recent studies as well as the 2007 report by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change have reported to some of the likely effects of greenhouse gas emissions. The rising global temperature, rising sea levels, Arctic sea ice melting, total disappearance of glaciers, epic floods in some areas, and intense drought in others. Here is a timeline of these events which may, by 2030, diarrhea-related disease will likely increase by up to 5% in low-income parts of the world. Up to 18% of the world's coral reef will likely to be lost as a result of climate change and other environmental stresses. In Asian coastal waters, the coral loss would reach 30%. World population will reach 8.3 billion people. Warming temperatures will cause temperate glaciers on equatorial mountains in Africa to disappear. Arctic Sea could be ice-free in the summer. By 2050, small glaciers will very likely to disappear completely, and the large glaciers will shrink by 30 to 70%. Ocean acidification could kill most of the coral reefs. At least 400 bird species could become endangered or extinct due to deforestation and climate change. In Australia, there will be likely an additional 3,200 to 5,200 heat-related deaths per year. By 2080, while some part of the world dry out, scientists predict up to 20% of the world's population live in river basins likely to be affected by increased flood hazards. Between 1.1 to 3.2 billion people will experience water shortage, and up to 600 million will go hungry. By 2200, the Earth day will be 0.12 milliseconds shorter, as rising temperature causes oceans to expand away from the equator. What is the solution for global warming and acid rain? What can we do at our level to control the damage due to global warming? We need to speak up. We need to talk to our friends and family and make sure that the representatives are making good decisions. We need to spread awareness through social media about the problems to be faced in future due to global warming. It is our duty to power our home with renewable energy. Solar energy will do miracles towards repairing the damage which has already caused to the environment. Let us invest in energy efficient appliances. We need not go for those electrical appliances which run on heavy voltage. We need not go for a loud sound output devices. Heavy energy intake TVs. We need to reduce water waste because more the water we use, more of heat and energy required while using the water. We need to replace our electric bulbs by LEDs because they consume less energy and give more light. To take care of environment, let us use fuel efficient vehicles. Electric vehicles are far better to reduce carbon emissions to the atmosphere. Hope over a period of time, all vehicles which are run on fossil fuels will be replaced either by solar energy or by battery operated technology. Finally, as far as possible, let us contribute towards reforestation drive. We know that water is becoming scarce due to increase in population, industries and agricultural activities. You have also studied how water becomes dirty after we use it for washing clothes, bathing, etc. This means that we are adding some materials to the water, which spoils its quality and change its smell and color. Whenever harmful substances such as sewage, toxic chemicals, silt, etc. get mixed with water, the water becomes polluted. The substance that pollute water is called water pollutants. Ganga is one of the most famous rivers of India. It sustains most of the northern, central, eastern Indian population. Millions of people depends on it for their daily needs and livelihood. However, recently a study by World Wide Fund for Nature found that Ganga is one of the 10 most endangered rivers in the world. The pollution level have been rising for many years. We have reached this stage because of towns and cities through which the river flows. throws large quantities of garbage, untreated sewage, dead bodies, and many other harmful things directly into the river. In fact, the river is dead at many places where the pollution level are so high and aquatic life cannot survive. An ambitious plan to save water called Ganga Action Plan was launched in 1985. It aimed to reduce the pollution level in the river. However, the increasing population and industrialization have already damaged the major river beyond repair. Let us talk the specific example of Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh. Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh has one of the most polluted stretches of the river. Kanpur is one of the most polluted towns in UP. People can be seen bathing, washing clothes, and defecating in the river. They also throw garbage, flowers, idols of gold and goddess, and non-biodegradable polythene bags into the river. At Kanpur, the amount of water is comparatively small and the flow of river is very slow. In addition, Kanpur has more than 500 industries. This include fertilizer, detergent, leather industries and paint industries. These industrial units discharge toxic chemical waste into the river. Based on the above information, think of answers to the following situation. What are the factors responsible for pollution of rivers? What step can be taken to restore Ganga to its past glory? And how would the disposal of garbage affect the living organisms in the river? Many industries discharge harmful chemicals into the river, causing pollution of water. Example, oil refineries, paper factories, sugar mills, they all give unwanted residue which are to be thrown out into water, either river or sea. These waste product contains a poisonous chemicals such as arsenic, lead and fluorides. And there is the toxic level of the water. The moment toxic level is raised, living organisms, aquatic living organisms will die. There are regulations to prevent this. Industries are supposed to treat the waste produced before discharging it into water. But quite often the rules are not followed. The soil is also affected by impure water. All these chemicals will go into the water and the acidic level of the soil will change. Soil has a particular level of acidity where the plants grow. If the acidic level change and if it increases, plants do not grow. The bacteria which are responsible to supply nitrogens to those plant roots will also die. Contaminated water will also flow into the fields, and once they go into the fields, the unwanted plants which are there in the water such as algae, they use those pollutants as their food and they grow. But once they die, they become the food for bacteria. In this process, more of oxygen is being consumed and the oxygen which is there in the water will becoming less and less. And there will be a shortage of oxygen in water. And decrease in oxygen level may kill aquatic organisms. Sometimes Sewage is the waste water which is from our homes, is directly goes to the rivers or the sea, and this sewage water contains bacteria, virus, fungi, parasite which cause disease like cholera, typhoid and jaundice. How can we stop this? How can we make our water potable? And what do you mean by potable water? How can we purify water? Water which is suitable for drinking is called potable water. Water available through tap, in the pond, and from many sources are not always potable. How can we purify water? There are many ways to purify water. But generally, chlorination is commonly used chemical method for purifying water. Chlorine tablets or bleaching powder kills most of the germs. But we must be cautious that we should not use more than the required limit. Laws for industrial units should be strictly implemented so that polluted water should not be disposed to the river or lake. Water treatment plants should be installed in all the industrial areas. And we should consciously at our level save water, and reduce, reuse and recycle should be our mantra.